Joining me is Kyle Anzalone, the news editor of the Libertarian Institute. Kyle, do you have a favorite book that the Institute? Well, I hate to ask you to pick favorites, but as far as books we haven't mentioned, what is another one that you enjoy?
Enough already. I mean, both the Scott's books, Fool's Errand and Enough Already, as people can see on my top shelf here, are just really, really fantastic books. But Enough Already is a little less intimidating for people. So that's a book like when I give it to somebody, they tend to get back to me and tell me they read it and really enjoyed it. And so, yeah, I really like that book a lot. Just not that when I read it, because I had talked to Scott about it, leading up to it, and read a couple drafts, that I was like, learned a whole bunch of stuff, but just how accessible everybody else finds this book is so important. And so I really do like Enough Already quite a bit. But Fool's Errand is also fantastic, and that's a book where I reread it a couple months ago, or I guess more than a couple months ago now, around the after the fall of the Afghan government, and I'm still picking up stuff in that book because Scott cramps so much knowledge into there, and there's so much important stuff, and it's all footnoted so well, so you could go through and confirm it if you want to learn a little bit more. It's so easy to do from Fool's Errand, but Scott's books are absolutely great.
Kyle, when it comes to other things that the Institute has to offer, books, podcasts, articles, what is something that you have been working on? Any research focus that you've had that you think people will find of interest?
I mean, I've just been working on cranking out news articles. The past two that I wrote have actually been on Pakistan. The former now Prime Minister Imran Khan was just removed by the parliament. But before he went out, he claimed that the U.S. was behind the regime change effort. And he really doesn't have any evidence to prove that. But just circumstantially, he has refused an invitation to Biden's Summit for Democracy and claimed that Biden was trying to divide the world into Cold War blocs, and Pakistan wouldn't go along with it. Of course, Pakistan has a very important relationship with China, and so that, I'm sure, has a lot to do with all of this. But the U.S. was trying to force Pakistan to pick a side, and Imran Khan was going to sit on the fence, and now he's no longer in power. Recently, Pakistan refused to vote against Russia and condemn the invasion of Ukraine at the UN, and also refused to vote to remove Russia from the Human Rights Council, so further upsetting the US. The new guy that's coming in, Sharif, is the younger brother of a former leader and the three-time prime minister of Pakistan. And more importantly, he was arrested and charged with money laundering during the Imran Khan administration. I haven't had a chance to dig into too much how much legitimacy there is there, but he does seem like, he's in a very powerful family in the Pakistan, political structure. And so just knowing how governments operate, I wouldn't be surprised that there isn't some legitimacy to that. Protests have broken out in support of Khan. He has a lot of support among particularly the male youth. He was a famous cricket player. I don't think he was like a long-term politician or anything like that before becoming prime minister. And so protests have broken out. There's been some blockades and barricades set up around Pakistan, and we'll see how this unfolds in the coming days.
For $25 in a donation, you can pick up a digital copy of any of our books. For $50, you can get a physical copy. For a $100 donation, you can get a physical copy of any of our books and your own Libertarian Institute mug. Great conversation starters.